Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Good morning, everyone. You are watching Dolphins Chatter, where everything Miami Dolphins related matter. And with no further ado, first, I almost forgot to introduce myself. I'm Rob Mosley, a.k.a. Dolphins Thirsty. Now, without further ado, I'm going to bring in the co-host with the most, Justin, who's once again wearing his Denver Nuggets. This is our first show since your Denver Nuggets have won it all. So congratulations on that. I would have liked to see my South Florida teams do a little bit better. Both the Panthers and the Heat made it to the finals, but they both lost. So, but it was overall, if you look back, it's decent. So, and now you get to celebrate your first time ever as a Denver Nuggets fan, winning their first ever championship. So congratulations to you, Justin, for being a loyal fan to your team that won it all. We will see if G-Man comes in today and gives you any love.
He's
or is he gonna?
hiding, man. He's
I don't think he'll hide. My G-Man will come in.
He's missing in action right now, man. No, yeah. Man, I'm on cloud nine, bro. I have been since we won. I'm not gonna lie. About a minute to go in the game. KCP steals the ball on the end down there. Not gonna lie, it got a little dusty in my house. Tears started forming from all those dust particles.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, man, it's all fine, man. You've been. Yeah, hey, and thank you, Ender. Welcome as always, Ender. But Ender, no, man, it's great, man. It's great. I'm happy for you, man. Like I said, I wasn't rooting for the Nuggets just because they were happened to be playing the South Florida team, but you are a good guy, so I'm happy that your team got to win. If it wasn't going to be the Heat, it's good to you that, they won. And I'm not a diehard fan, so it doesn't hurt to me. I didn't wake up the next morning feeling down that the Heat lost. Like if it would have been like the morning after a Super Bowl Dolphins loss, I would have been down like with a frown and all that. But, it was just still good for you. Your Denver Nuggets are the champs, and, they're in good position, like you said, to run it back. But I did tell you to slow your roll, enjoy the one before you already start talking about two.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. It's great, like the city is embracing everything. It's awesome, it's the second championship they've had here in the last 2 years. With obviously we had the Avs win the cup last year. What's up, RL Lyles? What's up, man? RL in the house. It's just been awesome, watching Jokic do what he did, and then it was really cool to see how emotional Jamal Murray got after everything was happened and we won. He got teary-eyed. Obviously made me kind of get teary-eyed again after everything the guy's been through. He tore his ACL, came back, and was even better than he was when he went out. So we got blessed. We got a lot of things went our way, but at the same time, we handled our business. We played.
No, you did. You were the number one seed in your out west. You were good all year, and the best team won. I mean, they're definitely. I don't even know how the Heat made it to the finals. They just caught Milwaukee sleeping. They caught the Celtics sleeping on them, and they woke you guys up saying, "Well, we're not going to take this team lightly, or we're going to be losing too." So you guys came out.
The Heat were a Cinderella story, man. I don't think I've seen too many teams like that come out of the East or even the West, anywhere. 8th seed and do what they did. It was amazing. It was awesome. Thank you so much. I honestly thought it was going to be the Bucks. So right off the bat, when they beat Milwaukee, I was like, "Whoa, what the hell?" So I started to have to take a look and pay attention closely. I really think the determining factor of the series, though, I mean, a lot of people were like, "Well, who's going to guard Jimmy Buckets?" Everybody kept asking me that before the series started, and I was like, "Oh, it'll be Aaron Gordon." So I just knew Aaron Gordon would be that X factor to make us that much better. And I'll be honest, you take away like the Jokic, the Murray, the MPJs. Aaron Gordon is the glue guy of this team and the reason why it went where it went. So shout out to Aaron Gordon. Thank you for coming from Orlando to Denver to join up with Jokic. And we got a nice team going right now. And yeah, I think they might run it back. Bruce Brown's talking. He's got a player option. Bruce Brown could go anywhere right now and go get a bag for like $20 million a season. But right after he won, he came out and said, you know what? I like it here. I love Denver. It's not always about the money. I think I'm going to stay here.
Well,
so
hopefully
he does
excited for you. But anyway, that's enough Denver Nugget talk. You know,
yeah.
You know, I just had to let you get it out. I even said on Twitter, you know, this is going to be our first show since my co-host's team won the so we got to keep them grounded today. But before we get to Miami Dolphins talk, I would like to give kudos to Justin. He sent me, you're wondering what this is. This is a Ted Williams jersey that he sent me. It's beautiful.
Oh, I think it's awesome, bro.
Of course, Ted Williams played for the Red Sox. It's a beautiful jersey, and it has beautiful patches on it.
Oh, God, things put together, man.
It's a beautiful.
It's put together.
Yeah, it's one of the best-handed hitters to ever play the game for the Boston back in the day. But anyway, that's it. We've talked about the Nugget. We talked about the Red Sox. Let's dive into a little bit Dolphin talk. Dalvin Cook came out, had a national interview with, you know, the national press, not just our local guys. And he says he wants the ball and he basically wants a bag of money. I don't think he's going to get the bag of money that he's won, because he supposedly, what the article says is that he wants money similar to what he was going to get paid in Denver. I don't think any team's going to give him that. So he's just going to, in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know Denver's one of the teams that you know, courting him too. So, but what he got in Minnesota, he was going to set to make like $10 million this year. He's not going to get that, I don't think, unless some team gets you know, he could wait it out and a team could get a running back injury and they panic and go give him the bag, but he's not going to get that. So I think he's going to be patient. He says he wants to feel wanted. And then he said, he wants to get the ball a lot, which makes me worry about him picking Miami, because I don't know if Miami's going to give him the ball as much as he would want to get. What do you think about all that?
Man. I'll be honest with you, like this. We've been talking about it for weeks, and I'll be honest, it comes down to that money thing, and he's going to want too much. He's going to want too much money, and then you're not going to have enough targets for him, enough carries, and he's going to be upset. Now then, that's why you stick with what you got. The rookie, like, this shouldn't even have been a talk of focus because of what's going on now. Now he's like, oh no, I'm just going to sit and wait it out. And I want to feel wanted. Like, what does that actually mean? Like, I'll be honest with you, somebody who does that stuff, it kind of scares me away. If I was a GM, I'd be like, well, go feel wanted somewhere else then. And the reason why is because it's like, man, what is that supposed to mean? You want me to hand you an open check, a blank check? Because I'm not doing that. And I'll be honest with you, it's crazy to me. Like, what do you mean feel wanted, bro? This is Miami. It's where you're from. Take a $5 million bag and then
I think he will end up feeling one in here. And later in the day, after all of that broke, that he wanted that kind of money, Ian Rappaport, who's normally on point, says he thinks he really looking for around $6 million, which is, you know, maybe in the Dolphins ballpark. I don't know. You know, that
now we're talking. Do you see what I'm talking? That's why I just said, here, take $5 million and you can get the ball. There's your bag.
Yeah.
There's the ball. So if that's the case, yeah, bro, if that's anything under $8 million, dude, I'm like, jump it. And that's because you have to know when. This is the part of being a GM that's really hard. You have to know when. It's like playing cards. That's a famous song. You got to know when to hold them, and you got to know when to fold them. And you got to know when to walk right away, because it's not going to be anything that, like, they're not going to budge when they're not going to budge. It's like the Lamar Jackson thing. He wasn't coming off of his number. So if you didn't, like, say, okay, we're going to do this for you, then that deal wasn't ever going to happen. And it's the same thing with this Dalvin Cook situation. He's going to want his money, so you're going to either have to pay him, and, like, someone's going to get mad, whether it's Zach Sealer, whether it's Christian Wilkins, or whether it's Connor Williams. And the Connor Williams thing is really starting to bother me a little bit. I don't think you can have somebody like that disgruntled. I don't think you can have someone like that unhappy and have an offensive line that's going to just gel. You need to make that dude happy. He's the
hopefully they can find a way to make it happy on a reasonable pay scale. But then, you know, like you said, you may not make Wilkins happy, or you may not. I mean, yes, this will all free up. You could sign them all this year and have no consequence, because, this year you'll probably free up more money. But moving forward, it's what the issue becomes, because, like, this year you could say, oh, yeah, Wilkins free up more money this year. Connor worked a deal to free up more money this year, and I'll do it all. Be all happy this year, but then next year comes and you got to start paying all these bills. So I agree. The Dolphins are in a tight spot right now. They got to decide what the long-term pieces are. Not, yes, we got that window, but like Doc Reggie Brown said, it's still a bigger chance to have a bigger window moving forward because some of the contracts are set up that you're able to walk away after a couple of years. But it's learning what pieces that you want to be keeping here and the ones that you can let it walk away and plug them in with new players. And that's what the Dolphins have to do. So
I mean,
my dog is going crazy. I'm
you're
gonna let him out the door. Justin, you're all on yourself for a minute,
good, bro. Like, if you think about it, it kind of came down to a matter of want and then a matter of necessity. And the reason why is because we traded for Tyreek Hill. We had already had Cedric Wilson signed to a deal. Okay, that right there kind of threw a monkey wrench in the program where we're at right now. And now we're trying to get off that deal because we don't need Cedric Wilson in the fold like that. You have Tyreek, you have Waddle. So if you could come off that money and somehow get someone to take that contract, even pay half of it, it probably helped you.
Oh, I would love it because that's a big. You're gonna have him on the team if you can't trade him. You said it perfectly. So you gotta find a team. That's when you gotta hope. You don't want anyone to get injured, but you have to hope some team like loses a receiver for whatever reason or another, and then that they just call the Dolphins and say, "Hey, we'll give you I don't care if it's a 25 7th round pick. Just okay, take. But you're taking his
I would just call back up Dallas and be like, "Yo, give me a 7th round pick. We'll pay a portion of the salary, and you can have Cedric Wilson back."
Yeah, I know. So yeah, we'll see. And then we're going to touch on this topic. And I was thinking of you when I read this because they asked Mike McDaniel why is Tua so polarizing and why, and then but the best answer that he gave is like, man, this is what Justin says all the time. So I'm going to go read that real quick, Justin. But I mean, this is what he says. This is what he said on why he thinks people pick on Tua and won't give it up. Also, there is a lot of conviction. When there's a lot of conviction with people and they're over the top about it, people tend to speak up on the negative. And once you dug your heels in 3 years down the road, you have voodoo dolls of Tua because he's the bane of your existence because you said you didn't like him one time and you're tripling down. I feel great about the guy. I said, oh my God, that's like Justin is what Justin's been saying from. So it's just like, that's like, so he said people just get in there and they say, oh, he's a what? And then they just don't ever want to admit like that they're wrong. So they just triple down.
That's exactly right. You get one stance on a guy and then because you have so much pride and self-pride in your body and your football IQ or whatever it is that you can't admit when you're wrong, which is a sign of being a dumbass. I'm sorry, excuse me, but it's the truth.
No, that's fine.
I mean, you don't need to be doing that. Like if the dude's showing you he can play and he's a baller, come off your stance from digging in the heels. But you know what? I was wrong.
Right.
I think he can play. Maybe he's not the greatest quarterback ever, but maybe he can develop into being above average, more than serviceable. But I'll be honest with you, I feel the same way Mike McDaniel does about him. I have since the kids hit the door. I feel good about him. And the reason why is because I feel that he's got the acumen, he's got the mind, and he's got the heart and the soul to play the quarterback position. There's more to playing quarterback, you guys, than slinging 30-yard out rockets like a laser.
I know that behind the I know, right.
It's more
and there's stuff behind the scenes that we don't see on a daily basis. How they are in the huddle, how they, all the way how they lead and all of that kind of stuff. So I agree. And he had other silly take, Mike McDaniel, because you were saying, oh, his name's hard to pronounce. So people, they just rather. So he had all those silly take. But that when he really said, but I don't know, when he really spoke from the heart, that's what he said. Is just people want to dig in, they like the negative, and they don't want to give it up.
Well, they don't want to come off their stance because they don't want to be wrong. They're on the teams they're on the sides of like team I want to be right. Instead of team, instead of this is key, especially with Dolphins community and the way the Dolphins community and fan base is split in half, and it's because of this player. It's kind of like dog. Just you gotta admit it sometimes when you're wrong, and just go on with it because it's like, do you want to be part of the team that's right? Be like, hey, I'm right. I told you we should have took Justin Herbert, or do you want to be part of the team that I want to win? Team I want to win. See, because I'm on team I want to win, bro, and I have
of course.
since 1985.
And you'd be saying that if Justin Herbert was our quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I'd be saying that if I was the quarterback. I'm just saying, like, literally, dude, you're from Team Aqua and Orange, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter who the hell's playing the quarterback right now. Like, you need to jump aboard. And the reason why is because if not, you just look like a total flake, bro. Don't go against the guy that we drafted just because you want to be right. Who cares about you being right, bro? Don't you want the Dolphins to be right for one time in your life? Come on.
I know. That's how I look at it, because us being right, no one knows about us being right. Who cares?
No one cares.
Yeah, no one cares. You all care about the Dolphins being right, because that's where it all matters. Because
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, like Mike McDaniel often says, there's only one happy fan base, and that's the team that gets to host the Lombardi at the end of the year.
Yeah, man.
So, and that should be every team's goal, and it is every team's goal. When every GM takes a job for the first time, every coach gets a job for the first time, they're not saying, "Oh, I would just want to get better." No, they want to win the Super Bowl. They know this is why an owner doesn't buy and spend billions of dollars for a football team to be, oh, people like them or don't like them. They don't care about that. They care about winning, because winning everyone likes. So that's the one thing that they know.
Everything.
Winning solves everything. So that's why it's funny to me that, like the fan thinks he's more important. Like, oh, I said on my YouTube account that, he was overrated and I'm right. Just look at me. I'd rather be like, I was wrong and the Dolphins won 5 Super Bowls with the kid.
Yeah.
See,
now that's the right ticket to have right there, because that's what I'd love to see happen.
Yeah.
I hate to keep cross-culturing and cross-sporting it, but it's the same thing with the Nuggets, how they just want it, like, and what they were preaching. And everyone's like, well, what's your guys' culture? What's your thing? Family on 3. 1, 2, 3, family. We're family, dog. And the Dolphins, they need to establish that culture.
I think they are. Family. I think I saw steps to that last year. So we'll see if they can continue it, because.
Well, you got to keep your guys in-house then. You got to keep the guys that we developed, the guys we signed, the guys we drafted, the Wilkins, the Connor Williams.
Wilkins, to me, as far as culture, Wilkins is an all-pro.
That is Dolphins culture, as far as I'm concerned, is Christian Wilkins, a guy who plays with heart, energy, soul. He literally envelops the way the Dolphins play defense. Watch him play and watch Christian Wilkins just run around the field.
No, he's all out
from the trail position. Like that gets his teammates so fired up. You guys don't understand. Like, if you played football, you'll get what I'm saying, because it's like you're playing for the dude next to you and yourself and your family and your city. Like, you got to take more pride in what they're doing and become a better.
Oh, he does. That
family.
Is off the charts for Christian Wilkins. Yes. Is he ever going to get the big, sexy sacks numbers fans want? No, but he does all the things that it takes. He's a leader. He balls out there. He plays more snaps than most defensive linemen across the whole NFL year in and year out since he's been here. He's great, and he doesn't give up. He just runs from sideline to sideline. Even if he was initially blocked and didn't penetrate, he sees it going down and then he runs and he tracks down on the sideline. You don't see a lot of defensive tackles playing the way he does.
No, they'll give up on that. They won't trail it down the line of scrimmage like that, and then from a trail position, follow the play all the way down the field and then make.
And he ends up making tackles that way, or anything can't. I mean, if you can't catch the guy, some other guy might hit him. The ball might pop out, and you fall on it.
The guy might double back and come right back to you the way he did in the Bills game and just laid Dawson Knox right out. And that's what I'm talking about. It's guys like that don't stop. They have a nonstop motor until that whistle blows. They're going, and that's the kind of guys you need on your football team. We have Wilkins, we have Sealer. I hope Raekwon starts to become more like that. And you just want guys to go, and not stop until the play is made. Like, if you do that, you'll be surprised how much, like, it's crazy, man. No one controls these guys' effort besides them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right, of course.
You're in the NFL. This is the highest league of football.
And you shouldn't need a coach holding your hand and telling you
rah.
Come
on, man, rah. You should just be go, and no one's getting in the way.
I agree with you. Even if they're not doing it for the team and they're doing it for greedy reasons for their own contract, I don't care. Whatever motivates them in their mind to go out there and do, that's what they have to go. I don't care if they're playing for the bag of money, they're playing for the team, they're playing for their family, they're playing for their friends. Just go out there. Whatever motivates you the best, go out there and do it. And I think that's what we gravitate toward. We see players that do that.
There should be only one thing motivating all 63 guys on that roster, all the way down to the practice squad, to the towel boy, to the water guy, to the trainer. And that's a Lombardi Trophy.
Oh, I agree on that.
That's the only thing that should be motivating. I don't care about your paycheck. I don't care what you make. It doesn't matter. It's beyond.
But your contract will come if you play and you're all ball out. Your contract will.
I just want guys who concentrate on ball and who are like, I just want to win. That's it. Yeah. And if I get a bunch of guys like that, I can win with that.
Right. But you also, though, you're always on the player side as far as getting the bag of money. But you just say,
I want them to get their
don't
bag.
make that the bane of their existence.
Yes.
Let it be.
Like Connor Williams deserves a bag. Christian Wilkins deserves a bag. Zach Sealer deserves a bag. I'm sorry, but those 3 players, I pay every single one of them.
I know you would pay all 3 of them before you bring Dalvin Cook into the fold.
Honestly, I would. If I was the GM, that would be my move because that's what's supposed to happen. That's the right thing to do. Like, if these guys do you right, you do them right. And then, like, you treat each other good. You get a good working relationship going. Next thing you know, we get into a playoff game, and you're like, I need body bags. They'll go out there and start.
I agree. And Zach Sealer, he was such a good story. You made such a good move picking him off. The Ravens practice squad, you saw the talent, you saw that, and you knew what to do. When you made the smart move, now pay him. Reward yourself with the smart move you did. Don't let some other team go pay him, and then you don't even get rewarded. No one's going to say, "Oh, the Dolphins were geniuses getting Sealer off."
That's what you just said right there. How many times have you seen Chris Greer make a move just like that, but then let the dude walk and not be rewarded for all the work and hard work we put in, and he drafted him, or he found him and poached him. Think about that for a minute.
I know.
Like, to me, this is how I see it. This is why I won't give up on the Chris Greer thing. Is the Zach Sealer thing? He came and poached a dude and was like, "No, this dude can play." And I'll be honest with you. As soon as we got him, it was the end of the season in 2020. And I watched him play 2 games. And that Bengals game, I was like, oh, I'm sold. You got to bring this guy back into the fold, give him a contract. And from that day, he started to get his RV, and he started to stay in the Dolphins parking lot. And I knew right then and there, we had us a baller.
No, he's good, man. I mean, he's good. And I would like to – I mean, there's probably a better chance we keep him and not Wilkins probably because
honestly,
he might come in at a little cheaper. Because I just don't know how at this point we're going to keep both. But maybe we can. I don't know. There's ways. There's a will. There's a way. It's the old saying. Now make it into reality. I don't know. But I know at some point you come capped out.
What you need to do is find a trading partner for Cedric Wilson.
And that would help. Like you said, that would help 100%.
And at the same time, maybe on the back end, like I know Gaskin is a great player, and a lot of people have a lot of respect for Myles Gaskin. So do I. I love him. I love the running back. I love the player. I love the person. But, man, there's not enough footballs to go around on this football team.
On offense, for sure. I know, because when you start breaking down all the targets we have as receivers, and then if you added Cook, if he really wants a lot of carries, you're going to say, well, you're going to get some carries, and we may not get you're not going to be the featured back that you've been used to that's gotten you 4 straight Pro Bowls and 4 straight 1,000.
I don't think he's going to be down for that. He's going to be like, no, I want to be the feature back. I want to be the man. He's going to Jay Ajayi, and I don't want Jay Ajayi here.
Yeah, I know, because he's had 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons, and he's been in the Pro Bowl. I know Pro Bowl has been tainted over the years, but it's still an honor for the players to get voted into there. So it's just he's made 4 straight Pro Bowls, 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. So, yes, it would be huge expectations for him coming to Miami, but he may just not get that because you see McDaniel. I mean, when he does stick to the run, it's changing the running backs around a lot. It's not just one guy being the guy that's going to carry it every time, like up in Tennessee where, okay, King Harry left, King Harry up the middle, King Harry right, to the outside, whatever. We're not ever going to be like that under a McDaniel offense. Because if you look, I mean, from the 49ers, they mixed up their running backs and stuff. Even though they went out and got McCaffrey, they would still bring other. I mean, now maybe with McCaffrey, since they paid a lot to get him, they may use him a little more, but they still mix their running backs, mix and match, and gets other guys involved. So that's what we would have to see.
I mean, think about it. He'd have to take, like, Mostert would have to take a back seat. Wilson have to take a back seat. Achane would literally have to work himself all the way up from the bottom of the roster just to get a carry if you added Dalvin Cook, because now you'd have Cook, Mostert, Wilson, Achane. Now, in fact, if you added Dalvin Cook, see, this is kind of a key I think we're talking about right here. We already talked about Wilson, Gaskin, What about Ahmed? You bring in.
I know no one mentioned Ahmed.
No, you got to bring in. You have to get rid of Ahmed if that's the case, because now you'll have Cook, you'll have Mostert, you'll have Wilson, and you'll have Chain. Chain would have to work himself up from the back, but there's no more carries there, dude. There's nothing for Chain or nothing for Ahmed, nothing for Gaskin. So you have to kind of like they have to go.
Okay.
What is the
so on that? I don't know.
Wilkins, Sealer, Williams.
Justin, you're a little more. I know that's the thing is we don't know what the. I'm sure Wilkins is looking for north of probably 16 million. I would say 17, probably closer.
I'd get ready to pay 18 for something.
Because Oliver got 17 million for Buffalo Bills.
That's why I said
year.
18. He'll want
so,
18.
Right, so he's going to have to get north of that, and so that's 18. So Zach may get a little less than that, but I mean, he's going to want a lot too, because if you look at his production, it's not that far behind some of these guys that we're talking about.
No,
and Williams, I really don't know. I haven't done it because that really threw me for a curveball that he wanted, that he actually held out. And I don't even know what, but I'm sure he's going to want top 5 center money is what he's going to want, because he
I would
played
look
to that
at it
level.
kind of like this. Wilkins, 18, that's annual. Sealer, 8.
Oh, wow.
Over 2 years. And then Williams, I could see him going for like 8 or 7 as well. Something like that, annual. And both of them all those will be multiple year deals. So Williams, say you gave him 7, I would think that would be a 2-year deal worth like 14 million. Yeah, I was hearing 18 for 20 for Wilkins. Yeah, that's the number.
Yeah, that's the same ballpark. That's what I would think too, RL.
The history says around here about guys like that, right? Dolphins history says that the Dolphins don't keep them. They find a trade partner for someone like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the number of years that might be, and guaranteed money is going to be the big part too, because these players want.
I would back end load it. I wouldn't front end load it. I would back end load it, give him something to make the cap hit small to the beginning.
Right.
And have to pay out to the back end. Again, the old proverbial kicking the can down the road.
Right. I know.
Honestly, that's how I would set it up. Or I would set it up to where you get like a signing bonus is half of the contract and the other half is just regular.
Yep. So, RL, if you could only keep one of those guys, which one would you want, RL? Would you want to keep Williams, Seiler, or Wilkins? I would think you could probably keep 2 of them, maybe.
Man, if it's me and you can only keep one of those guys, you have to keep Connor Williams. You have to. You're basically stuck. You have to keep Connor Williams.
Yeah.
You have to. Yeah, it's your offensive line, bro. Like, this is everything. Yeah, you can't back end it that much, but you can't front end load it as well, because it's going to put us in a bad spot. See what I'm saying? That's why the contract stuff's really hard to figure out.
Oh, sorry, Fins Talk Sports. He's giving you
Thank you so much. Yes. Champs, we are the champions. It was great, man. It was really nice to see something like that happen. It was, as a lifelonger Nuggets fan, it was a dream come true. So I'm hoping the aqua and orange dream comes true this year.
Yeah, I think that we can all agree on that, as Steve Malloy likes to say. But anyway, guys, that's the Fins Talk Sports Network. Make sure you give them a like and a subscription over on their channel. They're great guys. I'm part of their network on Tuesday nights on Real Talk, Fins Talk. They always bring great content. And last night, if you didn't catch it, you can catch us. We had Dudley Do-Wrong as a special guest. Let's see. RL says, here's the thing. We have found DT over. Yes, we have done better maybe finding those positions. So.
Yep. That's my whole point, why I said we'd keep Connor Williams. The reason why is because, man, I think replacing a 3-tech or a defensive tackle is a lot easier than replacing a center. They're hard to find, man. They're not easy. I've known Connor Williams now since he came out of Texas. The dude's so smart. He could play any position on the offensive line. So I love the pickup. In fact, last year, that was my favorite free agent addition. Armstead, great. That was awesome. But Connor Williams, I was like, oh, hell yeah. That was like a guy I wanted out of the draft, and now we ended up getting him a couple years later. It's perfect, man. You got to sign Connor Williams. Make Connor Williams happy. Get him locked up, then we'll deal with the rest.
Yeah. No, hey, I agree. It's because that's been the Dolphins. We can't say the Dolphins know how to find offensive linemen. So I agree with you. I wish we could say, oh, the Dolphins can find offensive linemen in their sleep. We can't,
man.
unfortunately.
No. Yeah.
So it's like when you finally find one, you got to find a way to keep the man. And like I
Yeah,
said,
absolutely. It seems to be the Dolphins' kryptonite over the years is finding a good offensive lineman that's healthy and that'll stay in the fold. Um, so Williams at 3 to 5 years, eight per year with 16. I love that one right there, bro. Boom, sign that up. In fact, make it the 5 year. And the reason why is because then you're locking them up longer. It keeps them in the fold longer, keeps us more together. Like I want the offensive
cohesive.
line.
Did you need a cohesive line, man?
I want it to stay continuity. I want it to stay them to know each other. I want them to know what each other's eating for dinner and breakfast, and when he's gonna pull and when he's gonna ask for help.
And that's it. And that's where the Dolphins. I give Dolphins kudos. As much as I like to pick on Greer, he normally moves away after he gives him all that money, and then he makes it to at least it's easy for the team to walk away if it doesn't go well or the player's no longer playing up.
He'll give himself contracts and he'll always leave himself an out. That way you can, wipe your hands of it and be like, okay, back onto my football team. Because in reality, like you want the players to do well and you have the best interest at heart for the players, but you always above and foremost put the team's interest above.
Oh, of course, always in general. Yes, that's never gonna, and that's gonna in any line of work, especially in the sports work. You're going to want to make the owner happy, and the owner needs, smart money decisions, smart a chance to keep the team winning, moving forward. So yes, they're always going to take that. They love the players, and I do believe they respect the players, and they watch the players well. But at the end of the day, if they're going to side with the player or the owner, they're going to go with the owner 100% of the time because the owner's paying you too. So so you're going to do.
It's their job. It's crazy, man. Like a lot of us don't see the stuff that's happening behind the scenes like that. It'd be kind of cool if we would, because it would open your eyes to how the business really, really is done. Keep Sealer around at the same thing. Yeah, man, I would be down with that as well. Maybe just a tad less, but I'd be all for that. Both of those guys are well deserving. What you could see, maybe we're hitting on something right here. Maybe you see them do something just like that, RL, which we keep trade Wilkins for. Bingo. You got exactly what
you were saying. He's saying, what would you trade him for? I know you said a first and a second, but I was thinking they would probably take a first or whatever if they can't sign him or whatever.
I would try to get as much as I possibly can.
Of course.
Second, whatever you can. But yeah, definitely bringing in draft assets for next year is what I'd be looking at. Or a stud right tackle.
Right. Yeah, I know that's it. But you're not going to find probably a stud right tackle at this point. Well, it doesn't hit you.
There's stud right tackles on other teams, but they might not.
Yeah, there are. But then you're going to have to pay them, and you run into the same issue. Like,
yep.
So now if you can find a stud right tackle that another team doesn't know they have, and he's going to be a stud, that's what you would have to do. But so because they already know
they're out there.
1 and a 3, that might be realistic. 1 and a 3. So
yeah, you might end up seeing something like that where we keep a Connor Williams and keep a Zach Sealer and try to deal a Wilkins. It's possible.
I agree with you, but it's hard to get off. It's hard to get off the right tackle thing until we know it. But I know.
Why would you?
And I agree, though.
Tackle? Why would you want to get off the right tackle thing when you have a dude whose name's Austin Jackson and he plays football for your football team?
Because I think you just mean from a fan perspective, like we were saying, nothing we say or do, it just seems like they're content, and it's just like So
as a Dolphins fan, you got to be content with what's over there.
Oh no, as a fan, yeah. We don't. So he's still giving him.
Bro, I'm going to tell you right now. Yes, we do. We don't have shit.
Well, let's give him this year, Justin. How about that? We'll give him this year.
That dude sucks, man. It's never going to work out for Austin Jackson. I'm sorry, Austin Jackson. You're probably a great person and everything like that, but you should think about a new career.
All right, we'll see, man. I hope you don't dig your heels in if he plays out all pro this year.
If he starts playing good and the light pops on, I'll be like, good job, Austin Jackson. It's about time. Where has this been for the last 3 years?
Right.
But
hey, that would be so Dolphins. We don't give him the 5th-year option, and he goes out and has an all-pro type right tackle season, and we lose him next year. So that wouldn't.
Yeah, it's possible. I've seen it happen before, a la Billy Turner. I mean, I've seen this kind of stuff happen, but I'm sick of waiting on Austin Jackson, bro. I'm be honest with you. I've been done with Austin Jackson since last year. So
Yeah, I know. But it's funny in that same article I talked about, about where McDaniel talked about Tua. He also talked about Austin Jackson. And
what
it
do you
says the
say?
Dolphins continue to give Austin Jackson every chance to win the right tackle job.
And
This
he
is
keeps
what
letting him down,
McDaniel said.
and he keeps
He's
letting him
been
down.
awesome to work with. He really has. New offensive line coach Butch Berry said last week on the final day of the team's offseason program, he's been very intentional in everything that we try to do. He's taking a approach, the process, the standard that we're trying to go about it, and he's embracing. And look, it's not going to be perfect. No player plays the perfect game. No player has the perfect practice, but he has intentionally in everything we're trying to do, and he comes with an emphasis every day. Every day he has an emphasis on what he wants to get better at. And as a coach, that's all I can ever ask for. That was, man, Butch Berry definitely, Mike McDaniel's running off. If I hadn't known that with Butch Berry talking, I would say that intentionally. And so I go, man, Mike McDaniel's rubbing off on him, man. That sounds like Mike McDaniel speak. So I don't know what intentionally, of course he intentionally tries to be good. So,
hey, I intentionally try to not stay square with my guy, to not block a guy. Like, man, there's ways to go about. That's just coach talk, man. I'll be honest with you. That's just coach talk. They're coaching him up. They're talking him up, trying to be like, yeah, rah, rah, rah. You're a first round pick. Go out there and do something for us He did not play last year, and coming out of camp last year, he's being talked about very well. That's great. I don't know who you're hearing talk about him.
So yeah, he did. Before he got injured last year, there was like, oh, he's showing signs of improvement, but then he went and got hurt in the first game, unfortunately. So we will never know.
You know what?
Oh, I know,
crazy,
Justin.
bro,
You are not a fan of him.
luck.
You're not a fan of Eichenberg, and
Nope.
you're not a.
I like Eichenberg more than I like Austin Jackson, bro. At least Eichenberg can play games and stays in there and tries. Austin Jackson just, I don't know, man. Like, he's had bad luck. He came in as first round pick, got hurt. Came in last year, everyone's talking him up, blah, 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 blah. 12 snaps, bam, you're hurt again.
I know.
I'll be honest with you, dude. It's not looking good. This is a first round pick who was taken in the top 15. I need more out of you than that, bro. You've been moved from right tackle to left guard. I remember everyone's like, oh my God, at left guard, we found a home for him. No, you didn't. He's not strong enough at the point of attack to play left guard. He's got a lot of work.
Right tackle is going to be his position, or
you're not playing in the NFL.
Yeah, so this is it. This is what he's down to, and we will see now if Isaiah Wynn or Cedric O, maybe if they are given a fair chance to win the right tackle, or maybe one of them just beats out Austin Jackson's flat out.
It's crazy, man. Like, it's crazy. You really want to see what Austin Jackson's problem is. You really want to know, and from a fan perspective, and be like, damn, why does everybody talk so bad about him? Go pull up some tape about Austin Jackson versus Bradley and I, one-on-one versus Utah when he was in USC, and you'll see his problem. Bradley and I is not even a pass rusher, a bona fide, or even talked about as a good pass rusher in this league right now, and they both kind of came in at the same time. Bradley and I took that dude's soul and showed everybody how to cross over his face and what his weaknesses are. Now it's followed him into the NFL. Now he's in his head. Now he doesn't understand how I need to stay square to a guy, his shoulders, and match it. This is Austin Jackson's whole problem. Want me to show you? That right there. He turns his shoulders when he needs to keep his shoulders square to his target. Right. Stop giving him the gate, bro. You're giving him the gate to the left. You're giving him the gate to the right. Hell, you might as well just give him the bag. And that's why I have such a problem with Austin Jackson. It's like, bro, you gotta understand how this works, bro. You're an offensive lineman. Stay in front of the guy.
Well, I agree with RL's last statement. Last year, the offensive line actually started playing better, and I agree with that. So if you look, not that pass rush rate. I know you will point out that they had one of the worst pass rush win rates in the NFL.
Sorry, bro, I disagree, RL. I really.
But they did play a little. I do think they improved from the last year. If you looked, so
and everybody talks about how Tua holds the ball too long. Why don't you go look at some more tape, bro, and see how many times Tua's bailed out that crap O-line.
He's bailed out on the. But against the Cincinnati, I think we all have that Cincinnati.
You mean which year, bro? Last year.
Yeah. So I think we all have the Cincinnati game in our mind. Tua did hold on. That's the one that we wish.
So,
but you have to admit, that was Tua. When he got hurt against Cincinnati, that was all on Tua.
he may trying to play hero ball instead of just throwing it away. Yeah,
but that was, that one I agree with. But yeah, some of those other, one of the times it was like, I think it was a few lookout block. I know Jesse Davis.
Go check out that Alec Ingold interview where he talks about, hey man, and Mike McDaniel, where the Dolphins are sitting on gold and Tua's doing things and saving his offensive line. You guys don't see it because you don't have the trained eye, I guess, to pick these things up. But he's doing things to help his offensive line that most quarterbacks don't do until like year 6, 7. And he's doing them right now. So I'll be honest with you. Everyone's like, oh, it's on Tua. No, it's not. It's on the offensive line. How could you say the offensive line it played better? They played like crap last year, bro. It's the 32nd pass blocking line in the whole league, bro. That means they were dead last. Yeah, they're good.
Well, he didn't say they were good, but they did play decent.
They played like crap. They played like crap, bro. I'll be honest with you. If you're 30
he said they didn't play. He didn't say play. We know we love our RL. He's normally on point, and I agree with him. They did not play as bad as what we made them out. There were times last year that they played better.
You want to know why they didn't look as bad as we made them out? Because you have a quarterback who's bailing them out constantly, bro.
I remember though, we did. When we ran the ball, we ran okay. We did have over 4 yards to carry most of the season when we did run the football. So let's see what Ender says. McD is trying to do what his predecessor didn't. That is to coach these kids to bring the best out of them. And it's only the second year with this coach. Give him a chance. So even Ender is chiming in with give him a chance. So.
I'm done with Austin Jackson. If they want to give him another chance, go ahead. I wouldn't.
Look, G-Man, you said he was going to run. He did not run. There he
ran,
is.
Dude, he got beat twice and didn't even come to the show, dog.
Yeah, he did. He did, man. He look at him. He says, good morning, guy. Congratulations, Justin.
I appreciate you, boss.
I'm far inferior to you when it comes to sports knowledge. You see, look at that, man. That is – and don't give him that much, G-Man. You're not far inferior. Man. You know your His stuff. Nuggets had a good run. That's all. You know, he was talking
though. Like we're going back to this Dolphins talk because I'm deep diving in here with you guys. Like honestly, man, do you ask yourself this question as a head coach? If you're seeing your offensive line get pushed back, and like the defensive line for the other team is resetting the line of scrimmage on your team, are you going to want to run the football? No. And that's why they didn't run the football. And that's why when you're like, oh, well, we blocked good. No, you didn't. No, they didn't. They blocked like crap. My Colorado Longhorns offensive line blocked better than that. Like, you got to get down there and block, bro, and do your thing. That's why he wouldn't run the ball on third and shorts, because your offensive line won't give you no holes, no gaps to run through. Your tight ends won't block. They won't hit at the point of attack. Your wide receivers are aligned in the wrong spot to make an effective block on the play and downfield on the play. So keep coming at me about how this O-line is so great, because it sucks.
Now you're almost sounding like those Tua haters, man. You're digging your heels in on the offensive line just because
I'll come off of it if they start playing halfway.
All right. Anyway, he's been working. Hey, don't worry, G-Man. I got your back on this one. This is the first show since the Nuggets won, and you're here, so don't worry. This is the first show we've done since the Nuggets won.
Yeah, but he was all scared, bro. They won 2 games. Like my wife said, we're going to get games 3 and 4, come home and show them the door. Games 3 and 4, you didn't show up, bro. You were all in your feelings.
Yes, I agree. RL didn't say they were great or even good. He just said they weren't really bad, is what RL said. So I know you disagree because you think they were bad. So that's the difference. But I agree with RL. I do believe there were signs and improvement last year. We did have a couple solid. I mean, Hunt was solid. You have to look. We had 3. I think we had 3 good. Look, you want Williams. You're willing to give him a contract.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, those are the signs of improvement. Is Terron Armstead and Connor Williams, if that's what you want to call them. Yeah.
And you think Hunt was decent though?
No, those 3 are great, bro. But that's what I'm.
So that's 3 of the 5 of the linemen there. So if we can get the other 2 worked out, we should be.
But it's like the line has to operate as one unit. It's not.
I know they have to be cohesive.
It's not just the line of individuals like Connor Williams and Terron Armstead's. It's the whole line. Like I judge a whole line by the way the whole line operates.
Right, of course.
Individuals in it. But
I agree.
But I mean, they got.
Oh. He froze up, man. We got him all worked up about the offensive line. Up there you are. You're back. You froze up for a minute. We got you all, and no, I didn't, put you on mute. You just froze up for a minute.
You're like, this dude's talking too much, man. Shut up.
That's all good. Let's see, G-Man, Nuggets are good, but I feel the Heat going forward. Riley knows what's up. Basketball talk done. Let's go Marlins.
Let's go Marlins. They're playing pretty good baseball right
now.
now.
I know they're doing better than my Red Sox. And
they're
guys, hey G-Man, just as my man Justin sent this beautiful Ted Williams jersey to me. I can't thank you enough. I can't wait to wear it at a ballpark near me.
Right.
You know, I need to get to a Red Sox game is what I need to do. So eyeballs that would see it, that would appreciate it. So I need to get to another Red Sox game. I got to go look at the calendar and see what's feasible to get to a Red Sox game. But anyway, it's all good. I don't know how G-Man became such a big South Florida fan, because I think he said he lives up in Connecticut now, and I forget what his connection to South Florida
that happens, bro. It happens.
No, I know, but he likes all the South Florida teams. Me, I love the Dolphins, and I was born and raised in South Florida. I haven't left yet. And eventually maybe I will, but I was born and raised, worked my whole career, everything in South Florida. But I only love the Dolphins, and I only love the Boston Red Sox. Like I said, I watch the Heat. Like I told you, I was rooting for the Heat, but I'm happy for you. Rooting for the Panthers, but not that die-hard feeling where I'm like, oh, man, they lost. Like I woke up the next morning after each game saying, oh, well, at least they had a little good run. No one expected it. So that was fun.
Right. It's your local team. Like, that's the same way I feel about the Broncos. It's the same way that I feel about the Rockies. I mean, like you said, you grew up in South Florida. When you were growing up in South Florida, they didn't have the Marlins, bro. When I was growing up in Colorado, they didn't have the Rockies. Otherwise, I would have been a Rockies fan. It's just kind of like that.
Well, that's how I said. That's why I never became a Marlins fan. I'm going to read what RL says there real quick. But, yeah, that's how I never became a Marlin. Because by the time the Marlins, I was already an adult. And you learn your passion when you're young and just everything. And I just had that passion from a Red Sox. I go way back to the Jim Rice days, which predates your time and stuff.
That dude was a baller. I remember Jim Rice.
Yeah, so so that's where I grew up watching the Red Sox, and I love Marlins. I would go to Marlin games. I'd probably go to more Marlin games than so-called Marlin fans, because I just like the game of baseball.
Man, RL, you were on one today, RL. I think you were like channeling your inner Chris Greer, RL, and the reason why is because you don't want to move off these Liam and Austin Jackson kids. I'll be honest with you, bro. I think that's why they brought in Isaiah Wynn. That's why they brought in Cedric Ugbagui, which is Cedric O. They brought in those guys to give these guys competition. And once you see these Cedric O and this Isaiah Wynn hit the field, you ain't even going to remember Liam Eichenberg's name or Austin Jackson's name no more, bro.
So he's him in adapt, him in UM. Me, I'd be like I just said, I'm rooting for the Florida Gators. They've made so I like UM okay, but my son goes to University of Florida now, so I figure some of my money goes to University of Florida. So I'm rooting. They start Friday College World Series play, and the Gators are the number 2 seed. So let's go Gators. Let's win the College World Series. It's down to 8 teams. Let's see who wins in Omaha. I know I'll put everyone to sleep talking about college baseball, but I love the game of baseball. So I could go to my local youth park and still watch baseball. My kids are grown and way out of baseball now, and so they play in high school and stuff. But I love the game of baseball. It's great. So to me, go Gators. But back to a good Dolphin talk. Well, I know in the past you had been open about moving Williams to guard if they could bring in a center, but that center ended up getting signed by another team. I forget what center it was. You were like
Garrett Bradbury.
Yeah, there you go. Because you were open to put in Williams at guard if you could get Bradbury on the team. So
yeah, I don't know about Liam at center. I'll be honest. I don't know about that. Maybe, and I heard they're experimenting with it, but I think they're just trying to find a good combination.
And if the Williams contract becomes a holdout problem going into camp, then you need a guy that can play center. So,
it's true.
And Feeney, I guess they just more or less look maybe as a backup, or Feeney might be the center moving forward. If
no, he can play center. He can play center and guard. That's why you brought him here, is because he can do both.
Yes, I agree, G-Man.
Before we get carried on too much more, don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell another friend. Don't forget to visit dolphinsthirsty.com for great content, great quizzes, stories, scouting, everything, dude. Combine, depth chart lineups. Go check it out. And
thank you, Justin. That's why I keep you around.
Dolphins Chatter.
Hey, yeah, I know. I didn't even drop that today. So
no, that's cool, dude. I love it. I love when you brought it on there. I was like, that's a great idea, bro.
Well, here we go. I'm going to do it now. You said it.
We got Flipper.
There you go. It's all good, man. It's all good. But yeah, man, it's just thank you, Justin. Please tell a friend. All you guys are
Yes,
loyal
sir.
that are in here today. You guys are always here. You guys make this show and you make me want to do this, and it's awesome.
I
So
wish we get more guys coming up and want to join the show and tell us what they're thinking and strategies on their team and what they think about the Dolphins and stuff like that. I'd like to hear what they got to say. Liam has short arms, more suited for center than outside or tackle. It's true. It's very true. But does he have the acumen up here to play center? I haven't seen it from the left guard spot at all. He honestly, yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. I know he's got the short arms and would adapt more to being a center, but you got to understand center is it's probably the most important position on the whole offensive line. It's usually your anchor of your line. Well, besides the left tackle, someone's going to hold it down like that. But you have to have you have to be smart. You have to be
he
able
makes the
to.
line calls. He does all
He
of that
makes
kind of
all
stuff.
of that. Not only that, but like the problem with Liam Eichenberg is his eyes will see the play and see it develop, but his feet won't follow his eyes. And you got to have someone whose feet follow their eyes, and like they have to, their body control has to be put together, meaning their eyes have to work with their hands and their feet, all in one in unison. Playing offensive line is like that. You have to have a good mix and combination of things that flow together well, meaning like that's why you hear scouts talk about their eyes matching their hands
You
and their
said, "Well, you
feet.
can have him call plays from the L." That's true, I guess. If he's the best at calling him, you could still have him call stuff. So, I guess
No one does that in the NFL. Everybody makes the calls underneath the center, and that's why they have him as the center. Like I could see something like that happening, like to where we're getting into a spot. Honestly, I'd hate to see that happen to where we got into a spot and he held out, and you had to have someone else play center and someone else give the calls from a different spot, or even if Williams moved over there. I think you should just leave him where he's at and find a left guard.
no, I mean
I think
he worked out, man. Because when we first moved in, you're like, man, he's a great guard. Why are they moving in center? And then it worked out. And I'm like, when you finally get a move that works out, don't go tinkering with it.
Yeah, like
And
it's crazy because I knew it was going to work out. I knew it was going to work out. And the reason why is because I watched his tape at Texas. I'm very familiar with the player. I know he's smart enough to figure it out, to get it done, to make those moves. He's got the opposite problem of Liam Eichenberg. His feet actually follow his eyes, his hands. They work well together. That's not the same for Liam Eichenberg. I know who you're talking about. You're talking about Lindenbaum, Tyler Lindenbaum out of Iowa. Yeah, he's awesome, bro. If you would have had someone like that, he can move. He can call and diagnose out the plays. He's an anchor of an O-line. In fact, I don't think he's even starting over there yet for them. I think they got someone else in line, but I think he's next up. If you could find someone like that and like pry him off of a team,
yeah,
you have yourself something then. But I'm looking for like those bookends, which we need. You really need to figure out this tackle position thing quickly. And the
well, I
reason
agree
why is
because
because
unfortunately, him and our left tackle, who we pay the big
that's what I
bucks
was
to,
going to say.
we can't
Yep.
we can't even count on him to stay healthy for the whole year.
I
Unfortunately,
think that's another reason why Isaiah Wynn was brought in here. I know everyone's like, "Oh man, he's a guard. That's a guard." Go pull up some tape on him in Georgia and look at his feet. This guy's feet. He could play tackle in this league. I know he can.
well, I think that's why they chose him over Brandon Shell, just because of what you just
That
said,
is.
because he can play left tackle. And
Yep.
Brandon Shell, though he was very good on the right side, he
He
got
can't play
called and
left
someone got
tackle.
because when Armstead got injured and he would have to move over to the left side and someone else, it was just not the same Brandon Shell.
No, he's not as good on the left side as he is the right.
So that's why Wynn at least will be a better backup at left, is what they probably figure. And I think that was
Absolutely,
probably
because of his feet, and his athletic ability. Somebody who can like move side to side and has that lateral movement, they
yeah.
can play all over the line, bro. He can play left guard, he can play left tackle, he can play right tackle, he can play right guard. I think the Wynn kid is going to be. He's going to be the one that everyone, if he can stay healthy, that this year he'll be the Connor Williams of this season. So,
Yeah.
like, I'd like to see him inserted into the left guard spot to start. I'd like to line it up with Armstead, Wynn, Connor Williams, Robert Hunt, and I'll have a battle out there because everyone's hell bent on making this kid a starter, Austin Jackson and Cedric Ugbugui. But I'm telling you right now, Cedric O is going to take this dude's lunch. So,
Okay. He's another guy though that's battle injury problems. That's the problem. So we have to see.
Yep. But he's a veteran and has played more games than Austin Jackson's played in his dreams. So I'll be honest with you, I'll take Cedric O. That'll be your starter at right tackle if I was to think right now. Armstead isn't going to be here long. No, he's not. And that's the whole thing of why we need to figure this tackle thing out fast.
Right.
That's the whole reason I think why you're bringing in the Isaiah Wynn kid, and like I'm not gonna forget about the Ryan Hayes. I know everybody else in here is gonna forget about Ryan Hayes and that 7th round pick from Michigan. Forget about it. He ain't good enough. He ain't gonna make the team. I'm not gonna say that quite yet. I need to see him in camp, and then I need to see him play some preseason games, and then I'll make a better inclination on that. Yeah, bro, I love me some Cesar Ruiz, bro. If you could bring in Cesar Ruiz and plug him at center, yes, let's do that because he can play center and he can play guard. So they can battle it out. Whoever wins. Whoever loses goes over to left guard. I love that, man. You did something like that. You got me all fired. I'll probably go throw $100 down on the Dolphins to win it all. But you got to like make these moves when you need to make them. You can't sit there.
Did the Saints pick up his 5th-year option for next year, or did they? I don't know if they did.
I don't think about all of that.
I don't think they did either, and I was surprised because everyone was picking on the Dolphins for not picking up Eek. But oh, look at it, you had these 3 guys, and you only picked up 2 5th-year options. But I don't think the Saints picked up Ruiz. So maybe next year, who knows?
Do you remember how we were talking last week about how hard it is to find a starter right now at this time of the NFL? A guy to contribute good minutes and good snaps.
Right.
The Broncos seem to just did it because Frank Clark is their starting pass rusher on the left side.
Wow.
So
it can be done. I mean, definitely starter's tough, but I remember the Dolphins last year brought in right before the season Melvin Ingram. He wasn't like a starter per se, but he came in and he contributed to the team right away. So you can get guys.
He was a stud. He was a stud for us.
I mean, he was like defensive player of the week in the first month of the season. Then he tailed off a little bit.
Then when it counted, it kind of went away. He did the same.
No, we added other people too, though.
He played the Casper the Friendly Ghost about December, though. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of stuff you don't want. I'd rather you disappear to the beginning of the season, be like, oh, he's struggling a little bit, and then come on like December, like November and December and into the playoffs because that's when it counts. Like I need that kind of.
Oh, where did you see this, G man? Did you see this? Dolphins are talking to Dolphins. Where did you see that, man? I didn't even see that.
If that's the case, bro, you need to close the deal right now. Right now, drop the hammer, bring him in, and the reason why is because I love this. You bring in some Dalton Risner, though, I'm going to get excited, and the reason why is because it gives you the competition that I want to see. I want to see Liam Eichenberg. I want to see Isaiah Wynn. I want to see Dalton Risner. May the best man win. And whoever doesn't win at that left guard spot, you throw him over there to the right tackle spot, and you're like, go battle Austin Jackson and Cedric O. Yeah, this is shaping out to be one hell of a battle, bro, and I'm excited. If you bring,
I don't even know where G-Man got that. I haven't seen that, so I don't know. But I haven't seen. Well, you and I we put away our social media for the hour we're on here to give our fans the best show possible. So if that's true, that is awesome. And he says,
I've been talking Dalton Risner now.
Oh no, you've been talking to him forever. That's the first time today it popped up. Almost every episode that his name shows up on our channel. I wouldn't mind
Dalton Risner, and like everybody's like, but he's just a guard. I'll be quite honest with you guys. Dalton Risner can play every position across the offense.
Oh, gee, man, you may have dreamed that up there. Now I'm gonna have to go look. He goes, I forgot where I read. Oh man. Oh well. But it's all good, man. It's all fun. I will go look later. But yeah, I know you've been saying that name forever, man. So if that comes to fruition, Justin's gonna be one happy camper. So
yeah, man. I've been talking about Dalton Risner, Linville Joseph, Akeem Hicks, Zach Cunningham. I wouldn't even doubt to see someone throw in another name in there that's an oddball, but it might be something that's like out of left field, like a tight end or a Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. I'd be like maybe the consolation prize if a Dalvin Cook goes somewhere else. Or...
Yeah. And they're like, hey, Kareem, you want to come in and run the ball maybe a couple times for like $4 million? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking some bargain bin shopping right there.
He saw it on one of the YouTube channels. So that's cool.
Oh, yeah, I see a lot of stuff on YouTube channels though.
I know, of course. But hey, me and you try not to make up stuff. I mean, so
I hear if you go along YouTube channels, hell, I heard Tom Brady's going to play for the Dolphins too.
Yeah, I know, but maybe that what he's saying that they actually heard. Maybe that channel heard it from somewhere too. So we'll see. But
We'll
I
see.
mean,
I mean, if
I agree
you're
with
gonna
you
make
on
a
that.
move
But
like
hey,
that now, you need to make them now. Really, like things are getting ready to shake out. Camp's coming up here next month. I wouldn't doubt to see some names start to be thrown out there and start to be signed with teams. I hope it's the aqua and orange and those names we just went over.
yeah, I know.
But we'll see. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a little worried about the linebackers, and the reason why has been stated is because you already got one who you brought in with an injury history who's dealing with an injury. Like, I hate this stuff. Bring in a guy.
I know. I
who's
mean, David
healthy.
Long is dealing with an injury, and I know it
Yep.
stinks. That's what
It's
happens
terrible.
when you deal,
It's
because you
not
just think
good.
they're gonna come to Miami and miraculously we never get hurt and be great. And
That's not
it never
realistic.
happens with us. Some teams might get lucky and that happens. They sign a guy and then they never get. That's where, like, I know G-Man says luck doesn't have a lot to do with it, but sometimes you do got to get lucky when
Sometimes you
sign.
got to get lucky, man. It's the truth.
Because
The
some teams have signed injury-prone players and then they go play 3 years in a row without getting one,
Right.
little dink.
See,
And
that's just the thing is I heard Fangio on what he said and how he's like, yeah, they're great in some areas, but not so much in others. Bro, what's the problem then, dude? Zach Cunningham is sitting out there right now. Why do you not want Zach Cunningham on the team? Like, Zach Cunningham can fill the needs that you're talking about right now. I need a thumper. I need a guy who can shoot the gap. I need a guy who can defend the run. I need a guy who can come in because this dude's hurt. Zach Cunningham, bro, he's sitting there right now. All you got to do is go drop the hammer and be like, we want you to be a Dolphin. Boom, it's done.
See, luck is for the rabbits. But sometimes, G-Man, it helps.
It's true, though.
Speaking of the downtime this month and next month, could we do some breakdown of Fangio? I think Justin, that's up your alley if you have time. I know you're very busy with your Colorado Longhorns, but
yeah,
we're gonna have some time. Could you do some breakdowns of what Fangio does against the offenses and stuff?
Yeah, I can look at it. I mean, I know pretty much what's going to happen right now.
I know we got some film I'm still going to get to that you've done for me. I just haven't got to it because we still have all this Dalvin Cook stuff and other offensive line talk, and we had the mini camps and we had the mandatory camp and the OTA. So all of that, so I kind of put that on the back burner. But we would get into that to pass the dog days this summer because it's going to be like this is him and Fangio mentioned. This is like vacation time coming up for them. This is when they get their time off. This is when they travel. This is when they do their stuff. And, this is the one time away before it gets real coming soon. So, they get their month off basically of, they get the rest of June off. And because him and Fangio said, oh, this is vacation time after today. So,
I know one thing about him because I'm familiar with his defense already because he's been around forever. It's kind of like a version of a Mike McDaniels or a 49ers offense, how they like to show you a lot of window dressing and then like run a different play out of it. The Fangio is kind of the same way. Like, he'll show you something that you think is going to be pre-snap, and then post-snap, he'll turn it into something else. I know he really likes to run a lot of cover 2 lurk. He likes to run a lot of cover 3 sets. He probably has like numerous different variations of cover 3 that he's going to use. He'll roll down like a look into a cover 2 press and then like walk a safety up into the box and like show, which is like he'll show blitz, start showing, but then he'll drop the dude back out. And so it'll look like a cover 2 and then roll into like a cover 3 or a cover 4. He'll do a lot of different stuff to make.
So what you're telling me, there might be some growing pains in the beginning as players get used to all these concepts and whatever. So we will see. Do you think it's any easy defense to learn? Do you think the players would learn? Because I know McDaniel's offense is reportedly very complicated and kind of hard to learn.
I don't think the defense is hard to learn or hard to get used to. I think it's more of a defense that's how shall I say this? It's fun. Yeah, it's like a really fun defense to run. So the more and more they start getting these guys into the positions, you're going to see the play pick up. You're going to see plays being made. People get excited about the plays being made. Is the star position the type of thing that have been talked about. We have a little bit. I've touched on it a little bit with Rob. I would love to have you come on the show and talk about it a little bit more, RL. He's talking about is the star, the jack position, the one I think is going to be Jalen Ramsey playing a lot of that, and they're going to roll him into that spot. I could see him playing over 250 snaps out of that spot right there alone. That's the reason why you drafted a Cam Smith, because you can put Cam Smith out there on an island, and you can use Ramsey in different ways now as that jack, that star, that guy who was rover robber coming up to the line of scrimmage, making plays on running backs coming out of the backfield, picking up the tight ends coming out of the backfield. I think this is the key right here because, as you know, tight ends have killed us around here for years. Now you'll have someone who can match up on a tight end like a Jalen Ramsey, who is very aggressive. He can hit a tight end, make a tackle. He can make plays on the ball. Fangio's defense is complex. Don't be surprised if players who grasp his defense end up playing not necessarily the most talented. Yeah, it's complex, but it's not nothing they haven't done before, G-Man. They've seen this, the what he runs, what he calls before. Some of them are actually real familiar with the system already. RL, bro, we understand completely.
Yeah, we got you, my friend.
No
we got.
But yeah, it's kind of, there's a lot that goes to it. It's not as much. I don't think it's as confusing as most people are making it out to be. I think you just have to understand the coverages and your assignment, what he's asking you to do, and then you'll go play that much faster. Kind of like what G-Man just said. There's going to be some guys who pick it up real fast, and it might not be the names you expect, and those will be the guys that
Because
play.
he says Marique Lead, for example, he knows the defense.
Defense, yes. Bingo. He knows the defense. He's been there before. He knows the calls. He knows the acronym. See, this is the thing about football. It's like what one person calls a curl, someone might call a comeback or whatever you're going to say, right? So it all just has like
it's the verbiage, but not necessarily.
It's
the verbiage, but doesn't mean the con. Yeah. I mean, it's the
same
the end result's all the same, but it's different verbiage.
Yes, different verbiage. All of it is that around the whole league. Like, just think about it. If you played any amount of football, when someone's calling out Ricky, that's right. Lucy, that's left. Yeah. I mean, that's the same thing that's going on out there on the fields. They might change the key name on that from being the starting letter of Lucy to the second, but that's something they change down the line as people start to pick up on their signals. Football's crazy like that, bro. It's a chess match going on out there constantly, and it's not just the offensive line, defensive line. It's the wide receivers versus the corners, the safeties versus the quarterbacks. It's what makes the game so great. So, like, the more and more confusing you can do and make them think differently, the better off your squad's going to be.
Yeah.
And that's why I think we got the perfect mix right now with the Fangio and the Mike McDaniels offense. Yeah. This is going to be a great
talking
season,
about
guys.
Perfect. It's a perfect time to end this show. As always, guys, fins up to all of you. You guys are the best. Make sure you tell other people, because you guys hear her all the time. Make sure you tell your friends, hey, go check out those Dolphin Thirsty Fools. They're fun to watch. And, they bring a good show every time. We appreciate you guys. I'm a small channel here. We know there's many channels you could go get your Miami Dolphins fix from. So I appreciate that you found my little channel. Check out dolphinthirsty.com. I don't have as many updates right now and there every day just because there's not many things to update. But if there is, you can rest assured you will find it on dolphinthirsty.com. Please like and subscribe. Fins up. Justin, one more time, congratulations to your Nuggets. And thank you for my beautiful Ted Williams, which needs to be worn soon so I can wear it in front of eyeballs that care, even though my Red Sox are stinking up the joints everywhere this year. But, hey, I still like them, just like I like my Dolphins during the 1-15 season. It is what it is. That's I stick with my teams, man. That's it. And I stick with you guys because you're the great. We will be back Friday, guys, and the Heat will be back according to G-Man. Maybe they will go I don't follow the Heat, as I said, as always my disclaimer, but I did see there's some guard out there or some player out there.
His name's Damian Lillard.
Yeah, from Portland. So, if they can add something like that, maybe Justin would get a little nervous.
You'll need that in order to beat the Nuggets.
So, anyway, guys, Fins up. You guys are the best as always. And I'm looking for my video to close. Sorry. There we go. Fins up. Have a good day.